Growing up, Kelsie had always been bubbly.
Just perfect little girl, really. I mean, sweet and really cute, pretty.
Kelsie's family searched her apartment.
Her car is not here. Her apartment's empty.
Whoever the man was, he knew more about Kelsie's last day than anyone else did.
If Laura Saxton had known it was her daughter's last day, she would have held Kelsie close and told her to stay home. But that morning, Kelsie was excited. She had just chosen a name for her baby. She called the baby Kadri. By midnight, Kelsie was gone. The day started like any other, with an ultrasound appointment at 10 in the morning. Before we continue, drop a quick comment for me. What are you doing while you listen? Working, driving, or just taking a quiet moment? Your presence here truly matters. A quick note, this story contains some fictionalized details to deepen the message. What I hope stays with you is the truth at its heart. February 4, 2013 started like any other morning for Kelsie Schelling. Except for one thing, the ultrasound image glowing on her phone screen showing the daughter she had already named Kadri. Kelsie, 21, sat in the medical office at 10 that morning, staring at the grainy black and white image longer than necessary. A girl. She was having a girl. The technician pointed to the screen, explaining measurements and development, but Kelsie was already somewhere else in her mind. Already a mother. Already choosing a name, Kadri. She said it once, quietly, testing how it sounded. Then she saved the image to her phone and walked out into the February cold, 8 weeks into a pregnancy that felt like the first real thing in her life. By 1 that afternoon, she was back at Floor & Decor in Denver, pulling on the dusty red vest she wore for her shift. The store smelled like tile grout and sawdust. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. Customers wandered the aisles, choosing flooring for kitchens and bathrooms, unaware they were walking through someone's last ordinary day. Allie Cox had worked alongside Kelsie for months. They handled the tile samples together, their hands chalky with dust, joking about the future, about babies and daycare centers in break rooms. "We could put a daycare in the break room," Allie said, laughing. "Once the baby comes," Kelsie smiled. She pulled out her phone, looked at the ultrasound image again, then sent it to her father, Doug, mid-shift. Doug received the photo that afternoon. Proof he was about to become a grandfather. He looked at the grainy image, the small shape on the screen, and thought, "That's your grandchild." He did not know it would be one of the last messages he would ever get from her. The afternoon stretched into evening. Kelsie rang up customers, stacked boxes, answered questions about grout and adhesive. Her phone stayed in her pocket, but she checked it often. She was always on her phone, friends said later. Always texting someone, always connected, never silent. Keep that detail in mind. At 9:54 p.m., Kelsie locked the doors of Floor & Decor. The store went dark behind her. She crossed the parking lot to her black Chevy Cruze, keys in hand, breath visible in the cold night air. It should have been a 30-minute drive home. She had made it 100 times before. She got in, started the engine, pulled out of the lot. She did not know that 9:54 p.m. would be the last time anyone saw her alive. She did not know the 30-minute drive home would never end. And she did not know that the name Kadri, chosen that morning with such hope, would never be spoken to the daughter who would never be born. The calls started coming in the next morning, one after another, all asking the same question. Has anyone heard from Kelsie? Laura Saxton knew immediately something was wrong when Kelsie's friends called asking if anyone had heard from her. Her daughter never went silent, especially now that she was pregnant. Laura tried Kelsie's phone, straight to voicemail. She tried again, voicemail. She sent texts, no response. Kelsie had missed her morning shift at Floor & Decor without calling. That was not like her. Nothing about this was like her. "I've been trying to reach Kelsie. "And I can't get a hold of her," one friend said. Another called. Then another. All of them suddenly coming out of nowhere, all of them with the same panic creeping into their voices. Laura felt her stomach drop. She was constantly communicating with somebody, Laura said later. She was always on her phone. Always. Laura called Doug. Called Colby. They agreed to meet at Kelsie's apartment. When they arrived, the first thing they noticed was the empty parking space. Her black Chevy Cruze was not there. "Her car is not here," Laura said. They went inside. The apartment was unlocked. Inside, everything looked normal, not trashed. No signs of struggle. Kelsie's belongings were still there. Her clothes, her things, everything in its place. Colby, Kelsie's older brother, searched through the rooms looking for any sign of where she might have gone. A note, a message, anything. He found nothing. "Everything looks normal, like it's not trashed or anything," Laura told police later, but normal made it worse. If there had been broken glass, overturned furniture, signs of a fight, that would have been something. This was nothing. Just absence. "I just went into panic mode," Laura said. That was the thing that freaked everyone out. Kelsie was constantly communicating with somebody, always texting, always connected, never unreachable. Her phone was her lifeline to the world. And now it was dead. They called the Denver police. "I'm her mother," Laura told them. "She wouldn't just leave and not tell me." The police took the report. 21-year-old woman, last seen leaving work at 9:54 p.m. the night before. Car missing. Phone off. No contact with family or friends since. "We were calling everybody and trying anything," Laura said. Every second felt like an hour. The investigation began. Officers started asking questions. "When did you last see her? What was she wearing? Who was she with? Was she upset? Did she have problems at home? No. No problems. No reason to run. She was pregnant. She had just named her baby Kadri. She was planning a future. The apartment was not trashed. There was no sign of struggle, but the car was gone. And the woman who was always constantly on her phone had gone completely, inexplicably silent. Friends who always heard from her, who joked with her at work just yesterday, who knew about the baby, were all calling now into a silence no one could explain. The 30-minute drive home had become a disappearance. And somewhere, Kelsie's black Chevy Cruze was moving through the world without her. Agent Kevin Torres from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation took the case with a promise he would keep for 8 years. He would not stop until he found answers. He was experienced. He was thorough. And he knew that most murder victims know their killers, so he started with the family. Doug Schelling sat across from Torres in a small interrogation room on February 6th. His daughter had been missing less than 24 hours. He was already a suspect. Torres asked about Kelsie's childhood. He asked about their relationship. He asked pointed questions designed to provoke. Laura Saxton sat in the same chair hours later. Then Colby. The family was being interrogated while their daughter and sister was still missing. Doug would remember it for years. "They come after you pretty hard," he said. "They make you feel like, man, you think I did this?" Torres brought up the wedding. It had happened months earlier. Kelsie had been a bridesmaid. Doug had grabbed her hand during the ceremony and squeezed it, hard enough that she pulled away, hard enough that people noticed. Torres wanted to know why. Doug explained it was nothing, a moment of tension, nothing more. But Torres pressed. He asked about arguments. He asked about anger. He asked if Doug had a temper. "A good interrogator can make you feel like you're getting blamed for this," Doug said later. The room felt smaller with each question. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Outside, officers were searching for Kelsie's car. Inside, Torres was searching for inconsistencies in Doug's story. This is what grief looks like under fluorescent lights. A father searching for his missing daughter while being asked if he is the one who made her disappear. Torres verified the timeline. Doug had been in Denver on February 4th. Kelsie had disappeared in Pueblo. The strangulation marks on her neck, visible in the autopsy photos that would surface years later, had occurred that night. Doug was 3 hours away. The math did not work. He was not even anywhere within 3 hours of the area where it would have occurred, Torres confirmed. Doug was cleared. So was Laura. So was Colby. The family had not hurt Kelsie, but someone had. The autopsy findings were clear. Bruises around her neck, consistent with strangulation. Recent enough to still show tissue damage. Someone had put their hands on Kelsie Schelling's throat and squeezed. Someone had cut off her air. Someone had done this within hours of her disappearance. Torres knew the family was not responsible. But that left the hardest question unanswered. If not them, then who? Someone had strangled Kelsie recently enough that the bruises were still visible. Someone had put their hands on her neck, and that someone was still out there, unnamed. Torres needed a lead. He had cleared the family. The autopsy findings showed strangulation marks on Kelsie's neck, but he had no suspect and no body. The break came 1 week into the investigation from an unexpected place. A Walmart in Pueblo, Colorado, had spotted Kelsie's black Chevy Cruze on security footage. Pueblo was 2 hours south of Denver. Nowhere near her work, nowhere near her apartment, nowhere she had any reason to be. Torres pulled the footage immediately. This Walmart really became key to this investigation, he said. The timestamp read noon, February 5th, 2013, the day after Kelsie disappeared. Torres watched the grainy black and white footage. A black Cruze pulled into a parking spot in broad daylight. The engine was running. The headlights were still on, glowing pale against the asphalt. We actually see her vehicle pull into a parking spot, Torres said. Someone was behind the wheel. Torres leaned closer. This could be Kelsie. The car sat idling in the frame. Then the driver's door opened. A figure stepped out, walked away from the vehicle. Torres froze the frame. He enhanced the image as much as the grainy footage allowed. He studied the build, the gait, the silhouette. The person getting out of Kelsie Schelling's car was not Kelsie Schelling, and we see an unknown individual get out of the vehicle and walk away from it, Torres said. He rewound the footage, watched it again. The shape was wrong. The height was wrong. The movement was all wrong. Is it Kelsie? Torres said. It is not Kelsie. It was a man. Security cameras are indifferent witnesses. They record everything and explain nothing. Images without context, proof without understanding. The Cruze had been found. Kelsie had not. The person driving her car 12 hours after she vanished was someone else entirely. Someone whose face the camera captured, but whose name remained unknown. Torres saved the footage. He sent stills to the lab for enhancement. He began building a timeline. Kelsie was last seen at 9:54 p.m. on February 4th in Denver. Her car appeared at noon on February 5th in Pueblo. That was a 2-hour drive. 14 hours missing. Somewhere in those 14 hours, Kelsie stopped being the one in control of her vehicle. The man in the footage walked with purpose, no hesitation, no looking back. He parked her car in a public lot in broad daylight and walked away, like he had every right. Like it was his. Torres watched the figure disappear off camera. The car sat empty in the frame, headlights still glowing, engine still running, abandoned in a Walmart parking lot 2 hours from home. Whoever this man was, he knew more about Kelsie's last day than anyone else alive. He knew where she went after leaving Floor and Decor at 9:54 p.m. He knew why her car ended up 2 hours south in Pueblo, and he knew what happened to Kelsie Schelling. Torres could not prove it yet, but he knew the answer to his identity was waiting on another camera, another location. Just 11 hours earlier, the digital trail led Torres backward through time. Cell tower data from Kelsie's phone pinged near a bank in Pueblo at 11 a.m. on February 5th, 1 hour before the Walmart footage. Torres cross-referenced the tower location with bank transactions in that area. At 11 a.m., someone accessed Kelsie's account. An ATM withdrawal, $400. Kelsie's cell phone device traveled to an area where a bank transaction was made on Kelsie's card, Torres said. He pulled the ATM surveillance immediately. Bank security cameras recorded every transaction, every face, every license plate. $400 withdrawal from Kelsie's bank account using her ATM card, the transaction record showed. Torres queued up the footage. February 5th, 10:59 a.m. The screen showed an empty ATM lane, cars passing in the background. Then the timestamp ticked to 11 a.m. A black Chevy Cruze pulled up to the machine, the same car from the Walmart footage. The driver leaned out the window. A hand reached toward the card slot, inserted the card, punched in the PIN code. Kelsie's PIN code. Detectives look at the surveillance video at the exact moment the transaction is made. Torres said, the machine processed the request. $400 slid out of the slot. A hand grabbed the cash. Not Kelsie's hand. The angle was better than the Walmart camera. The lighting clearer. The detail sharper. Torres froze the frame. The hand belonged to a man, the same man from the Walmart parking lot. But this time, the camera caught more. The side of his face. The build. The posture. Someone had used Kelsie's phone. Her car. Her ATM card. While she was missing, someone was creating the digital illusion that she was alive, moving, making transactions. Cell phones betray us in death the way they never do in life. Every ping, every tower, every transaction building a map of movement for someone who can no longer explain where they went or why. Before we reveal whose face appeared on that screen, if you're still with us, comment A if you think this was someone Kelsie trusted, or B if it was a stranger, and add one short reason why. Please note, what follows includes recreated details for narrative purposes. The truth is what matters most. Torres enhanced the image. He zoomed in on the driver's face. He ran it through databases, cross-referenced with known associates. With everyone she knew, the match came back immediately. They see Donthe Lucas driving Kelsie's car at the ATM, inserting the card, withdrawing it, Torres said. Donthe Lucas. The former college athlete Kelsie had dated on and off for months. The father of the baby she was carrying. The man whose name kept surfacing in the investigation. Not a stranger. Not a random abduction. The man using Kelsie's belongings on February 5th, driving her car, accessing her money, was the father of her unborn daughter. The shadow on every camera finally had a name. But if Donthe had Kelsie's phone, her car, her ATM card on February 5th, what had he done with Kelsie herself? The answer would take 8 years to prove. 3 years passed while Donte's phone sat sealed in an evidence locker, its secrets locked behind encryption that investigators could not break, its messages ticking down toward permanent deletion. Torres had seized the phone in the initial investigation, but technology stood in the way. The phone was encrypted. The methods to access it did not exist yet, or they existed but were not legal, or they were legal but not available to local law enforcement. Originally, police were not able to get information from it, the investigation record showed. Technology changed. Encryption standards evolved. Legal requirements shifted. Torres waited. He applied for warrants. He researched new forensic methods. He never stopped thinking about what those messages might contain. The texts Kelsie sent on her last day, the texts Donthe sent back, the digital record of her final hours. There isn't a time that goes by where I don't think about Kelsie, Torres said. 3 years. Other cases came and went. Kelsie's case remained unsolved. Her body remained missing. And Donte's phone remained locked in an evidence locker with answers Torres could not reach. In 2016, the breakthrough finally came. New forensic technology. New legal precedent. Torres secured a warrant to extract the phone's text messages using methods that had not existed 3 years earlier. Torres finally got a warrant to retrieve the phone's contents, the case file recorded. He submitted the warrant, initiated the extraction process, waited for the data to transfer from the phone's memory to the forensic system. Only then did he learn about the storage limit. Messages were retained for a specific period. Then they were purged, not archived, not saved elsewhere, deleted forever. Digital evidence does not wait. It decays on timers set by corporations and carriers, deleting itself whether justice needs it or not, indifferent to investigations that move at human speed. The extraction completed. Torres received the data. Thousands of text messages, messages between Donthe and Kelsie, messages sent on February 4th, 2013, messages sent in the hours before Kelsie disappeared. Then he learned the timing. The warrant had been executed exactly 1 day before. The messages would have been permanently deleted from the system. 24 hours. 1 day separating the recovery of critical evidence from its permanent, irreversible destruction. Had the search warrant been served a day later, we probably would not have had them, Torres said. 1 day later, and there would be nothing. No texts, no timeline, no digital proof of what happened to Kelsie on her last night alive. It was a very fortunate turn for us at that point, Torres said. Fortunate felt like an understatement. The margin between justice and eternal silence had come down to 24 hours. Those texts were really important in this investigation, Torres said. They were a very big piece of the puzzle. He did not know it yet. But those recovered messages would reveal the full scope of Kelsie's last day, the desperate attempts to reach out, the hateful replies she received. Those messages would paint a picture of a relationship built on control and violence, and they would give Torres exactly what he needed to build a murder case. The phone call came out of nowhere. A woman who said she used to date Donthe Lucas, and she had something Torres needed to hear. She explained she had dated him after Kelsie disappeared, lived with him for a time. She had been following the case, seen the news coverage, and she had information about his behavior, patterns she witnessed firsthand. I used to date Donthe Lucas, and there's something you need to know, she said. Torres listened. He took notes. He recorded the conversation with her permission. Every detail mattered now. Every piece of corroboration brought him closer. She described a ritual she had witnessed repeatedly. Every time Kelsie's case appeared on the news, Donthe changed. Every anniversary of the disappearance, the same pattern emerged. He would isolate himself, withdraw from everyone around him, and then he would drink. Not casual drinking, not social drinking. He would drink until he passed out. Every time there was mention of Kelsie Schelling on a news program or an anniversary date would come up, he would isolate himself and indulge in alcohol to the point where he would pass out, she said. The pattern was consistent, predictable. Every February, every time a news segment aired, every time the case was mentioned publicly, he would obliterate himself with alcohol until consciousness left him. Torres recognized what he was hearing. This was not grief. This was not sympathy for a missing woman. This was guilt manifesting in the only way Donthe knew how to manage it. Guilt has a tell. It surfaces in the dark, in the bottle, in the words that slip out when defenses are down and someone thinks they're safe. Then she revealed the crucial detail. Donthe had told her things, admitted things he should never have admitted. He told her he was the man in the Walmart surveillance footage, the one driving Kelsie's car. He admitted dropping the car off and picking it up the following day. Donthe had admitted to her that it was him that had dropped the car off and also picked the car up the following day, Torres documented. The hospital video too. Donthe had been recorded on security cameras at the hospital during the investigation. He told her he was that man as well. He told me he was the man in the Walmart video and the hospital video, she said. He confessed to being present in Kelsie's final hours. He confessed through proxy, through a woman he thought he could trust, through admissions made in private that he never expected would reach law enforcement. But they had reached Torres, and every piece fit with what he already knew. The surveillance footage, the ATM withdrawal, the cell tower data, the text messages. Now this, direct admissions from Donthe himself, filtered through someone who had lived with him and heard his secrets. It was valuable information, crucial corroboration of the surveillance evidence. But Torres knew it still was not enough. The confession was secondhand. The drinking could be explained away. The pattern could be denied. He needed more. He needed something definitive. After 4 years of building the case, he was finally ready to make his move. By 2017, 4 years after Kelsie disappeared, Torres had assembled everything. Surveillance footage showing Donthe with her car, ATM records showing him draining her account, text messages revealing their volatile relationship, witness testimony about his confessions. He reviewed the accumulated evidence one final time. The digital trail was irrefutable, the witnesses credible, the timeline clear. Is that finally enough to say, "Let's arrest him for murder?" Torres asked. It is. He obtained the arrest warrant. First-degree murder, the charge Kelsie's family had waited 4 years to see. Now came the moment Torres had worked towards since February 2013. Personally delivering the news to Donthe Lucas. Donthe was already being held in jail on unrelated charges. Torres drove to the facility, walked through security, signed in, requested the interview room. He carried the warrant in a folder, the piece of paper that would change everything. He entered the room. Donthe sat on the other side of the table, the man whose face Torres had studied in countless hours of surveillance footage, whose lies he had unraveled, whose texts he had read, whose movements he had traced across 2 cities on a single day in February 4 years earlier. The table between them was narrow, institutional, cold metal, bolted to the floor. Torres sat down. He looked across at Donthe. 4 years of work had brought him to this moment. 4 years of evidence. 4 years of Kelsie's family waiting for justice. 4 years of building a case against a man who thought he had gotten away with murder. 4 years is 1,461 days, 35,064 hours. Every one of them carrying the weight of Kelsie Schelling's absence, her family's grief, and Torres's promise to find the truth. He opened the folder, pulled out the warrant, slid it across the table. I slid the piece of paper across the table to Donthe, and I said, "The day is here, Donthe," Torres recalled. He looked him in the eye. The moment required no theatrics, no speech, just the facts, just the charge. You're under arrest for the murder of Kelsie Schelling, first-degree murder. The words hung in the air between them. 4 years of investigation. 4 years of building the case piece by piece. 4 years of Donthe walking free while Torres worked. 4 years of waiting for this exact moment. The power had finally shifted. The man who took Kelsie's life was now under arrest for her murder. The arrest was made. The charge was first-degree murder. Donthe Lucas was indicted. But Torres knew better than to celebrate yet. It had taken 4 years to arrest him. It would take 4 more years to bring him to trial. And the hardest part was still ahead: proving murder without a body. 8 years after Kelsie Schelling disappeared, 8 years after she chose the name Cruze for a daughter who would never be born, Donthe Lucas finally stood trial for murder. The trial lasted 2 weeks in Pueblo County Courthouse. Assistant District Attorney Tony Marzavis argued that Kelsie's pregnancy motivated the murder. Donthe did not want to be a father, did not want to be tied to her through a child he never asked for. He was not interested in being a father or being connected to Kelsie in that particular way, Marzavis told the jury. The pregnancy was documented. The ultrasound existed. The name Cruze was real, and the threat that baby represented to Donte's freedom was clear. Certainly an argument as to why he may have wanted to kill her, Marzavis said. The evidence was overwhelming. Surveillance footage, ATM withdrawals, text messages, cell tower data, witness testimony. The defense called no witnesses, offered no alternative explanation, presented no counter-narrative to the mountain of evidence. Laura Saxton sat in the courtroom every day. So did Colby. So did Doug. Watching the case unfold, watching the jury absorb 8 years of investigation, compressed into 2 weeks of testimony. The jury retired to deliberate. Laura waited in the hallway. Colby paced. Doug sat still, feeling the weight of 8 years pressing down on him, the weight of every day Kelsie had been missing, every birthday, every February 4th, every moment wondering where she was. 8 years is long enough for a child to be born and start 3rd grade, long enough for Cruze to have existed, to have learned to read, to have asked about her mother. After only 2 hours, the jury returned. The jury took just 2 hours to reach its verdict, the court record showed. 2 hours to decide what 8 years of investigation had already proven. The courtroom filled again. The family took their seats. The jury filed in. The judge asked for the verdict. Guilty. Laura's face dropped. She started crying. Colby held her, crying himself. My mother's face just dropped. She started bawling, Colby said. Doug heard the word and felt everything drain out of him. I hear guilty, and I hear a big gasp, and everything went out of me, he said later. The relief was real, but it did not feel like victory. It felt hollow. 8 years of waiting, 8 years of grief, 8 years of not knowing where Kelsie was, and now a verdict that did not bring her home. If it would have been any other way, it would have been devastating, Doug said. So, it was a relief. Donthe Lucas was sentenced to life without parole. He is appealing the conviction. The trial was over. The verdict secured. The sentence handed down, but something crucial remained unresolved. Something that would keep this from feeling like justice. Something that would haunt the family every day for the rest of their lives. Kelsie Schelling's body had never been found. Years after the guilty verdict, after the life sentence, after Donthe Lucas was locked away forever, the Schelling family still uses the word hollow to describe their victory. Colby thought the trial would bring peace. He hoped that after 8 years of waiting, the guilty verdict would deliver something resembling closure. Instead, it delivered trauma. I hoped that, after the trial, I would feel better than I do, Colby said. The trial was extremely traumatic for me. He watched the evidence presented. He heard the witnesses testify. He saw the surveillance footage of Donthe driving his sister's car, using her ATM card, living his life while Kelsie was already gone. And when the jury said guilty, when the judge sentenced Donthe to life without parole, Colby felt no relief. I really did not gain any comfort or peace, he said. So, it's just a hollow victory. The word hollow appears again and again when the family describes what justice looked like. Hollow because the verdict did not undo what happened. Hollow because Donthe is in prison, but Kelsie is still missing. Hollow because the one thing they wanted most never arrived. Because I didn't get her back, Colby said. That's what I wanted the most. For years after the trial, Laura traveled to California, where Kelsie's friends still live. She walks the beach, remembers her daughter, tries to stay connected to the woman who disappeared on February 4th, 2013. The searches have continued periodically. Multiple searches, multiple locations, multiple years. Despite multiple searches, Kelsie's body has never been found. The investigation reports state, legal justice and emotional closure are not the same thing. One can be delivered by a jury in 2 hours. The other may never arrive at all. Kelsie chose the name Kadri on the morning of her ultrasound, 10 a.m., February 4th, 2013. 8 weeks into a pregnancy she would never complete.
Earlier that morning, an ultrasound confirmed she was pregnant with her first baby. A girl she planned to name Kadri.
She was excited. She shared the name with her mother, with her father, with her friends. A daughter who would never be born. A name never spoken except as a symbol of everything that was stolen. The conviction put Donthe Lucas in prison for life, but it did not return Kelsie. It did not bring home the daughter Laura still searches for. It did not deliver the granddaughter the family would never meet. Kelsie was 21 years old. She worked at Floor and Decor. She loved her family. She chose a name for her baby. She texted her father a photo of the ultrasound and told him she was naming the baby Kadri. That was her last day alive. Donthe Lucas used Kelsie's ATM card to pretend she was still alive, to create the digital illusion that she was moving through the world, making transactions, going about her life. The camera caught that exact moment, his hand on her card, his face in frame, the lie preserved forever in pixels. And that camera never let him escape. Kelsie Schelling was 21 years old. She chose the name Kadri for a daughter who would never be born. Years after the guilty verdict, the Schelling family still searches for closure that may never come. Laura walks California beaches, remembering her daughter. Colby carries the weight of a hollow victory. The conviction put Donthe Lucas behind bars for life, but it did not bring Kelsie home.
Kelsie Schelling never made it home from work the night of February 4th, 2013. But detectives knew where she went.
This case reminds us that justice on paper and peace of heart are not the same thing.
So the time that she said she was strangled, was he not in the area then?
That's correct. He was not even anywhere within, I think, 3 hours of the area where it would have occurred.
Surveillance footage preserved the truth when a killer thought he could erase it. But for a family, the truth without their daughter is an incomplete ending. If this story stayed with you, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Your comments mean more than you know. Leave one below and tell me what you're thinking. And if you know someone who values true stories told with respect, share this with them.
So who did cause those bruises on Kelsie's neck? That question lingered, for now.
Thank you for listening with such care. This story is based on the real case of Kelsie Schelling, with some scenes dramatized to honor the emotional truth of what her family endured. My deepest respect goes to the Schelling family, who continue to search for the closure they deserve.
Detectives look at the surveillance video at the exact moment the transaction is made, and they see Donthe Lucas driving Kelsie's car at the ATM, inserting the card, withdraw.
Person is